Bryan was one of those guys, he could just meet anyone, anywhere, and pick up a conversation. And before you know it, he might be your best friend.
He was probably the nicest man that I can say that I ever met. He was thoughtful and funny and accommodating and very respectful of anybody.
He was willing to always help, give you a hand, help in any way, shape, or form. He either just toss it to you. He explained it thoroughly, and that's something I always really enjoyed about Bryan.
Bryan was a positive person, full of energy, and he was authentic and genuine.
Down to earth, very social, and also loving and caring person. I could say that he definitely impacted the way that I perceive the world in a more positive way. He's very positive, always laughing, happy guy.
Wise beyond his years, genuine, wholesome guy that never turned the face the other way when you were in need of advice, lesson, coaching, mentoring. That's what kind of guy Bryan was.
Was really easy to get along with and just fun to be around. Definite joy. He was a real joy.
I always remember Bryan being the largest personality in the room. And in our group, there's a lot of large personalities, but his personality and his persona was bigger than most rooms that he walked into.
Was Bryan a comedian? I would say he was a smart ass. He definitely knew when to throw in a good zinger and capitalize on a moment and get a good laugh out of people.
Oh, absolutely. He was a joker of a character, no doubt about it. One of the stories that's familiar to me, just because it's recent, is his brother talks about how we were at AAO and he had a hole in his shirt, and he had a vest or a jacket over it, and Bryan is telling him, "No, man, don't worry. I can't see it. You're fine. It's covered up. You're good to go." And about every 2 minutes, basically every time somebody sees Lauren, they're walking up to him and saying, "Hey, man, you got a hole in your shirt." So Bryan had basically told everyone about the hole, even though no one could see it. It was covered up with the jacket to say, "Hey, go over to Lauren and say, 'Hey, man, what's up with that hole in your shirt?'"
Bryan was really a people person. His work ethic was really strong. He had a really strong connection with our clients. Not just our clients, but also the rest of the employees. Just connected so well with them.
Any position that he ever held here at Dolphin, any interaction with Bryan that you would have, you can immediately tell that he was driven, didn't cut corners when it came to putting in the hard work. Bryan made sure that you knew that if you were going to be a part of this team or his team, that you were going to have to match his intensity and his work ethic.
He was a real hard worker. You know, he really found joy and satisfaction in putting in hard work into a day and knowing that he accomplished something, whatever task he was working on.
Moving forward, always progressing to something more and better, achieving greatness.
He loved Dolphin, and that was evident in his work ethic and everything that he did the moment he stepped into this building.
I remember it was years ago when I became the manager of the support team. Bryan was my right hand, and a lot of the things he helped me put into play are still in play, and a big part of the reason we're so successful.
He helped with the structure of the support team, and of course later on he moved on to sales, but at least in the support side of things, we still have in place a lot of procedures that he had put together.
Policies, coaching styles that help develop the growth of our now support team and what it is now. Moving on to sales, bringing new ideas, because he had that gift of the gab.
He wasn't really a salesperson. He was just a really good human being who could have a great conversation and trust him and trust our company and decide to move forward and be partners. You know, it's it wasn't him selling it, it was just him being an honest and truthful person, which is who he always was.
So a few years ago, he poked his head into my office and he'd just say, I just want you to know how inspiring you are. Every day I come to the office seeing you working hard and caring for this organization, and I just want to thank you. And I'd never forget that.
Because of his work ethic, because of the person that he was, and because of his personality, he was able to impact this entire company as a whole, just based off of him being him.
He was a loyal friend. He stayed true throughout. He never judged on your past, present, or future. He always tried to give you the best advice.
Bryan had a very strong sense of friendship and also family. Family, obviously, you know, over friends. But I say that to say that if you were Bryan's friend, you were part of his family.
Everybody here, you know, he didn't really see them just as employees. He saw them as brothers, sisters. He really united the company. His enthusiasm, he's really a true gem.
He was very sociable, hanging out all the time, doing different things, engaged in people's lives. And I think that's going to be one of the big things we all miss.
Everybody in Bryan's life was valuable to him, it seemed like to me, as far as his friends and his family. You know, I watched him grow from the 21-year-old he was when he started to the 34-year-old man that he was. Every time I would see him, we would have really good conversations. And one thing that I could say that was really important to him was his family. Because, you know, his older brother's here. I know his mom, so nice. And we would have conversations about his family and his mom. And when he met his wife, it was amazing because he was so happy because that's what he wanted.
In a word, family meant everything to Bryan. I think it was his basis for everything that he did. It was his basis for coming to work each day, getting up each morning, putting that smile on his face. The person that he was, I believe it was because Bryan cared so much about his family.
Especially him and Lauren, they were double trouble. They were thick as thieves, and you know, it meant a lot. You know, they talked every day. That was important. It was a crucial part of Bryan's life to always have that conversation with his brother. Very close with his mother. Family was a big thing for them. I know that in him.
He was always there for his nephews. He has 3 little nephews. And you could just see the way he would engage with his nephews. They loved him. And he would make them laugh, and just, they were like best friends, you know.
A most memorable moment, I have a couple of things that come to mind, like when we would talk about his wife, he would just light up. He was just really excited. He was excited about the things that were happening.
And him and Jennifer, you know, they really wanted to have a family, and that was a big part of who he was, you know. For him, being with the family and spending time with family was really important.
His love for his wife. He was so excited when he found out that Jennifer was pregnant, and he told me in confidence before, you know, things got out to the public that he was just over the moon, knowing that he's going to have a child.
You know, my heart extends for his family, his wife, his baby on the way, his son. He'll definitely know who his father is from his brother and other family members, but he'll have 12 or 14 uncles here at Dolphin that will definitely know, or let him know, who his dad was.
But wait, there's more!
Well, if we could just increase the number of calls that comes in, then I think then everything will be very well.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. by the way.